Do you think it's okay for rich donors and companies that make profit from the fossil fuel industry to donate, fund, and sit at the boards of directors of the main science and national history museums? Sounds like a conflict of interest to me and also to a long list of the world's top scientists, including several Nobel Prize winners who all sign and release an unprecedented letter calling on this practice to stop. In particular, the letter points a finger at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History in DC and the American Museum of Natural History in New York, where David Koch, the billionaire, is a member of the board, a major donor and exhibit sponsor. Dr. Michael Mann, a top climatologist, said, and I quote, "We simply cannot allow folks like the Koch brothers to undermine efforts to preserve the habitability of the planet while also greenwashing their public image, facilitated by museums that take their money." He also said that the stakes, the planet we leave behind for our children and grandchildren, are simply too high. Nick, I think this is a great step forward. It's something that the audience needs to know. How weird it is that companies and individuals like David Koch that fund the anti-climate change propaganda get to sit down and influence these centers of knowledge that are supposedly be neutral. And I think they are correct to be angry that he is in those positions.
It's a little surprising. You'd think that the museums, would know a little bit better and they'd care more, but the amount of money that he's throwing at these people, it's hard for them to say no until they're put on the spot like this. And then a lot of people are talking about it, then the Smithsonian's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, he shouldn't, not a good idea. But is it surprising that he's doing something like this? No, not at all. The guy spent millions and millions and millions and millions since the 90s promoting anti-climate change things like this. And it's not a surprise. He spent $67 million since 1997 on that alone. It's a lot of money, but hey, he's got it, and he has his own agendas, and he puts it out where he can in a very sneaky way, and that's what happens.
The reality is that the way museums work today, it's hard for a donor by himself to influence the content that is being promoted by the museum or the exhibitions that are hosted by the museums. But the reality is the example that they're saying today. Today in the Smithsonian, and it's been there for a while, there's a lobby where they are having a series of displays that touch upon climate change. And they are directly sponsored by David Koch groups. So obviously the content is debatable because it's saying, well, it's a matter of adaptation and evolution, and humans can evolve to a warmer planet in the future by developing more sweat glands.
Great.
A lot of scientists are like, dude, that's missing right there, and it shouldn't be an institution of natural history like the Smithsonian. But again, like you said, museums find themselves in a very tight situation where they lack funds and they lack other donors, and then these individuals see the opportunity to clean their name by supporting these institutions, and at the same time, they are some of the top creators of pollution because of their profit from the fossil fuel industry.
That's not a surprise. We know why. We know why he's against anti-climate change. And the fact that he's bringing up evolution is ridiculous in itself. Like, it's a good thing now. Even if it is true, it's a good thing. We need it to happen. No. You know what else can evolve? Mosquitoes can evolve. And if colder climates become warmer, you got mosquitoes with malaria going all over the world. No, let's not talk about evolution. That's ridiculous. Yeah. What's surprising and weird in this whole thing is the fact that people still exist on Earth who want to deny it, and it's not debatable. You said it's debatable. It should not be debatable. He should not be able to do things like this because it's our planet that we're talking about, and like Dr. Mann said, it's future generations that are going to have to deal with it, not Mr. Koch and his brother and whatever, so.
Yeah, well, we want to know, what do you think? The letter mainly says we need to keep these museums as a neutral space of neutral knowledge, and we cannot undermine the public trust in these institutions by allowing this money to come in and skew things to one direction or the other. Let us know, what do you think? Should we ban the fossil fuel industry from donating to the Museums of Natural History and Science? Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the Lib TV.